Hey everybody, how's it going? Welcome to the 14th episode of Blast from the Past Reviews. I am Steven, also known as Steven, as always, and joined by, on this side, my wonderful co-host Megan of the Noob Reviews.
What's up, guys? It's going.
It's going. Yep, definitely. Oh, and the chat's being weird again. Achilles Jones, glad to see you here. Hand pink waving. What's pink waving? I don't want to know. Don't tell me. And a Phil. How's it going, Phil? Always glad to have you here. Watch the trailer for the movie. Seems pretty fun. Yeah. It was a fun movie.
Mm-hmm.
I will say, before we get too deep into the review on it or anything. Whoa. Voice got all old there for a second.
Old.
And your Bommy, how's it going? Glad to have you here.
Watched it.
Yeah.
Watched the whole thing, he said.
And we have a Robert Lowry. Thank you for joining us, Robert. How's it going? He's a sneaky. And we have a Duck Dangerously. Thank you for joining us, as always. Let's see. Achilles Jones has a question for us. What is our resolution for 2023? My resolution was to not make any resolutions.
Wow.
Yeah.
So you're doing really well then.
I am. Solid so far.
That's something, Steven. That's really something.
Yep.
Yeah.
Well, I stopped doing the whole resolution thing because, for the most part, I've just noticed for most things that, especially like habits and the like you've recently cut down on like caffeine and the like, it's the kind of thing you have to want to do. Mm-hmm. And putting like a date as to when I'm going to stop whatever behavior it is, like you can't stick a date to it. You can't write on your calendar like, oh, I'm going to quit. I've tried to quit smoking many times over the years, and it's like, oh, I'm going to quit on January 1st, December 31st at 11:59. I'll put out my last one, and that'll be it. And then within like 3 days, it's like, what? Screw this. I don't care. Screw resolutions. I'm lighting another one up.
I feel like when you're trying to like change behaviors or like quit things, like it's always you have to do it multiple times. Mm-hmm. You're like gonna quit it multiple times or whatever. Yeah.
Yeah. Especially anything that's like addictive or anything habit forming. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Like you're gonna go back at least once. And I think that's one of the things for like addicts who do rehab and stuff is they talk about like you're always in recovery. Like you never end. That's why you always need a sponsor. You always need someone to talk to. And it's a lot of these things are just easy to change. And, most resolutions are things like, going to quit smoking, going to cut back on drinking, going to lose weight. And they're all things like you really have to want to do it. Like really have to want. So I tend to not do resolutions. Duck Dangerously, however, his resolution is 1080p. Wow. Is 1080p like old now?
I thought that was the best resolution. What?
I know, we got 4K now.
Dude.
Yeah. I'm cool with 1080p. Like, I remember when we went from the old CRT TVs, and then, you had flat screen, the plasma and everything, and then we got the 1080p, and I remember distinctly when I finally got my 1080p TV, and I watched Seven with Brad Pitt, Morgan Freeman, and that one kid toucher, Kevin Spacey. And I just remember like being able to see every pit in Morgan Freeman's face. Like it looked like someone had just peeled a Valencia orange on the screen right in front of me.
Weird.
So nothing wrong with 1080p.
Oh man.
Let's see. Phil saying hail to new, looking like $1 million. And hey, it's that dude from Even Stevens. I mean, I don't even know how to take that. I never watched the Even Stevens.
Me either.
Yes, Steven, also known as Steven. Thank you, Achilles Jones. Let's see.
Small Town Republic.
Yes, Small Time Republic. Thank you for joining us. Yes, one day I'll be as good as Phil, and maybe I can make 11th place where Phil is. 2023 resolution is to not fall asleep on the Mario Kart stream. So last Friday, Phil straight up fell asleep during the Mario Kart stream. We heard it scored and everything. Oh yeah, we shamed him mercilessly.
That's so funny.
It was great. It was great. Let's see. Steven smoking. It's like, I can't quit. I can't quit you. Yes. Yes, that's exactly what it's like. It's me sitting there like, I can't quit you. Do I have a pack on me? I don't. I can't quit you. Yeah. I really should though. Even these things aren't good for you. They always try to, it's not as bad. It's like, when you have to say it's not as bad.
Yes. It's still bad.
Yeah.
It's still bad.
What? Look, I didn't bring it up, Phil. You brought it up.
Phil, if you fell asleep on a stream that was like live, people are gonna know. And they've left that up. It's on YouTube for all eternity now, Phil.
It is. We need to clip it and make shorts of it and put it on like Instagram. And I will kowtow to the Chai Coms and make a TikTok just so I can put it on TikTok so 10,000 bots can watch it. That's how important that moment is, Phil. Hey, being this badass and holding back on you guys is a tiring process. Yeah, sure, Phil. Okay, Phil. All right. We'll take your word for it, buddy. All right. I'm saying that sounds insulty. Lol. I mean, maybe.
That's what they do. That's what they do.
Oh, but yeah. The movie Gunless.
Yes. So I hadn't watched it for quite a few years. Probably like 8, honestly. Mm-hmm. Like it was a long time, maybe 6. And it was still good like I remembered, but it wasn't as I remembered it in my mind, which is weird. I thought it was so funny. I don't know why. But there's like a lot of nostalgia too, because I grew up, we didn't watch movies. We didn't have a TV. And that movie, I watched it with my family. Like we watched it all together as a family when it first came out in like 2010. And so I think for me, there's just like a lot of nostalgia surrounding that, is like one of the very few movies we ever watched together as a family, which sounds weird because people do that all the time, but like we never did. So I think just the memories of that and it being fun made me remember the movie as funnier than it was. Not that it wasn't funny, but like, it wasn't like super comedic. But yeah, overall it's more just like a really good, like a feel-good movie. And it's very cool because, well, a lot of movies get filmed in Canada. Like a lot of movies do. Like people love to come up to Canada and film movies. It's beautiful up there. It's actually a Canadian movie filmed in Canada. So that was kind of cool.
Yeah, the Canadian Film Board also does a lot of like weird things to where they'll fund movies, they'll release it in theaters in Canada only, and then they'll basically lock it in a vault. Like they'll never release it, and I don't know why. Like even
don't ask me.
Yeah, even a smaller indie film that doesn't do very well, you can still release it on DVD. Maybe only make 1,000 copies of it if you don't think it's going to sell very well, but you can still make more money off of it. Or heck, everything's digital now. Put it online, put ads on it.
Yeah.
Something.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't understand.
I mean, it's a government-run film board, so it's how it works there. And while we have all of our problems with Hollywood, at least people have the option to go and find an independent venture to fund their film here.
Yeah.
from what I understand, you really can't do that in Canada. Like you're only allowed to produce a movie and I think it's a very weird way that they do it. Like you have to get the Canadian Film Board's permission to make the movie. And like while a lot of American films are filmed in Canada, TV shows too. Actually, a lot of American TV shows are filmed in Canada. Like they pretty much just get an automatic pass from the film. Go ahead, you don't need funding, you're fine, go right ahead. But everyone else has to like present their case to the film board.
Yeah, it's weird. I don't know why they do that.
Yeah.
I don't understand. Like there's more money in having Americans and other people come up and film in Canada than there is for Canada to do its own thing.
Yeah, it's weird. I don't get it. Yeah, I know a lot of films also get made here where I live in Georgia.
Yeah.
Actually, the town that I work in, this was like 6-7 years ago, probably. They actually shut down one of the main roads to film. It wasn't Fast and the Furious. It was, I think they did like a Need for Speed movie, something like that, like based on the video games, something like that. I know Vin Diesel or someone was in it, and it was a street racing movie. I don't remember what it was, but one of the scenes was filmed in the town where I work.
Did you see any celebrities?
No. They shut the whole street down. I wasn't even that close to it. So no, I've met other celebrities in other situations, but most of the time I pay for it. Right. It was really nice to meet you. Here's $60. Hey, picture. Thanks for the autograph. No, it wasn't Fast and the Furious. I know that. I just can't remember what it was. I want to say it was based off of a video game series. Came out like, I don't know, 7-8 years ago or so. Cannot remember. Let's see. Some of the humor, I kind of got the same vibe I also get from British comedy, which I love, but it's different.
Yeah. There's like you do get because Canada was a dominion of the British Empire, like there's definitely British humor and
just crossover.
Yeah, for sure. Still, to this day, it's interesting.
Yeah, I actually have. So the humor that was in the movie, like none of it was bad, but I feel like most of it got like kind of the haha reaction from me. Like I don't think, except for the bloopers had me rolling during the credits. That was the funniest stuff in the whole movie. Especially when like the horse just starts taking a dump while he's trying to have his monologue and he rolls right with it. It was amazing. That was great. That cracked me up so hard. But the rest of the humor in the movie, I just kind of got like the like a little chuckle from it. And
it's very straight laced. It kind of pokes fun at Canadians because a lot of us are very like that. Like straight laced. I don't know how you describe that type of humor. I don't know what the word is I'm looking for.
Kind of like clean comedy. A little bit.
Yeah, but there's another word. I can't remember it.
You know what? We have the internet. Straight-laced synonym.
Achilles, I will not fall asleep like Phil did. I can stay awake. I only slept for maybe 3 hours last night, but...
Oh, yeah. Quite the opposite. Normally, I sleep for about 3 hours. I slept for like, I think 8 or 9 hours last night.
Oh, I'm so jealous.
Well, it was. I also had like 3 nights in a row of like not kind of sleeping, but not really sleeping.
So your body was catching up.
Yeah, everything just caught right up to me. Let's see. Austere, prim, proper. Some of these synonyms that Google's given me, I don't quite agree with.
Yeah,
like Victorian?
No.
No. Old maidish. That's just rude. The heck, thesaurus.com. Oh man. I know what you're talking about, but I can't think of the word either.
Yeah. Oh well.
Yeah.
Oh well.
Yeah. So my feeling on it was actually that I think particularly early on in the film, like the first 15 minutes or so, first 15 to 20, I'll say, they were like really just trying to cram little bits of comedy in here and there. Like, you know, he had pulled the bullet out of the guy's butt, and you know, there was a bit of a joke in there, which I thought was funny. It's like, oh, the first bullet pulled from a posterior is always free. And I was like, okay, that's a decent joke in there. And then like the guy in the background just falls off the roof and he runs off, and it's, you know, it got like the haha out of me. But I felt like there was just kind of a middle of the road, like a decent film, like a nice action sort of feel good movie that you got, which was there, and you get that. But I felt like particularly earlier on in the film, the comedy kind of like pulled me away from that a little bit. Like
it was a little forced.
A little bit. I think when you get towards like the middle and toward the end of the film, they slow down on the comedy a good bit. But when you do get it, I felt like it hit a little bit harder.
Yeah, because they weren't trying as hard.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yep. Like I think probably one of the ones I really liked, which, you know, spoilers for anyone out there, was, I mean, it's a Western. There's a gunfight at the end. That's not really a spoiler. If, you know, every Western ends with a gunfight, otherwise it's not really a Western. But it was the one guy who was like really excited, wanting to see the gunfight, shows up late. He's, oh, I missed it.
You did the thing?
You did it without me?
And he's like,
yeah.
The dorkiest of them all.
Oh, yeah.
Well, I love that he's the one that started it and he didn't even know, because he had to set off the dynamite to get that stupid stump away he'd been working on the whole time. Get it out of the ground. And then everybody just like freaked out and started shooting each other. That's great.
That was one of the other parts that did get a decent laugh out of me, was when the Chinese are trying to give him the dynamite to help him blow up the stump, and they're just like, two, and he just keeps taking all of it. It's like, oh, this is not going to go well.
He's got like 10 sticks of dynamite.
It's way too much. Oh, 2. Let's see. A lot of the doctor's lines in the movies, I feel like that's what you were referring to. Yeah.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Well, like Joe Biden, you know the thing.
That's me. I'm for a little sleep.
Mm-hmm. It's just one of those days, people. Sorry about that. You know what? Speaking of it being one of those days, let's go with this one for a little music in here. There we go. Hey, background music. Nice something to fill. Well, we don't stop talking here, but a little extra in the background. Yeah, I think this is a good one if you want to see it, Achilles Jones.
It is. It's an easy watch. It's not like, it's just an easy watch.
Mm-hmm.
Feel good. Yeah. Relax.
Not too long either. Mm-hmm. And I was like almost exactly right, because I had the DVD case and I'm sitting there like, okay, this is like an action movie, sort of low budget, you know, action film. It should be right around 90 minutes. And I look at the back and it's 89 minutes. It's perfect. That's
actually, it cost 10 million Canadian dollars to make that movie.
Okay, so
I found this out. 10 million Canadian in 2010.
Mm-hmm.
So you know.
Yeah,
don't make me do the math. I'm not.
Yeah, I don't know either. It's I think that's still, I mean, it's not an indie film, but it's still lower end of the budget even for 2010. But those are the kind of movies that, like, I've heard Chris Gore and like Paul Chatto and stuff, and those guys, they've talked about it on Midnight's Edge, how like a lot of the film industry, they'll make smaller, lower budget films that aren't like huge box office hits, but they are successful and they make money. And you use those, those couple of small wins to fund one larger project.
Mm-hmm.
And that's something that Hollywood in particular has gotten away from. I don't know what Canada's doing with that.
Yeah, I don't know.
I know Hollywood used to do that. You get a lot of low budget movies that, they'd make them for right around that, like between 10 and $20 million. And then, it would maybe only make like $50 to $60 million, but still like it's successful. It made money.
Mm-hmm.
Just not the, nowadays they expect a movie to make like hundreds of millions of dollars. Otherwise it's a flop.
Yeah.
Which is, it's just ridiculous to expect every movie to be a banger like that.
Oh, yes, that's funny. He looked ridiculous in that outfit. Like, just ridiculous.
It grows on you a little bit, though. It's at a certain point in time, you're just like, okay, yeah. Like,
once in a while, you get, like, full screen shot of him. I'm like, oh, those pants are, no.
No.
You look like you're in your PJs. He's trying to be, like, a tough cowboy, and he's in, like, pajama pants.
I did like how the pants are, like, a foot too short for him. Like, they come up to, like, the top of his boots. Yeah. Mildly racist humor. Always good stuff.
Oh, man.
And Sean Landegren, thank you
Sean!
for joining us.
What's up, Sean?
I did not know that. Chris Gore doesn't even really consider Sundance an indie event anymore. Yeah, I don't know if it really is. It's almost like purple colored too. Oh, yes, the shirt he's wearing.
Yep.
Yes. See, I think that's, now that I think about it, I think that the situational comedy in the movie is what worked really well. Mm-hmm. But the physical gag comedies that they were trying to do, for the most part, kind of, at least for me, landed kind of flat. Whereas the situations I thought were at least well built up.
Yeah. Agreed.
But I will say, like, overall, the plot was interesting. It was a simple plot, stuff we've seen before in different iterations, not 100% copied from anything or like that, but simple enough that you don't have to sit down and have like a 5-hour conversation trying to figure out the theme of the movie or anything like that. It's all about a jaded man who's had a very tough and difficult life, been running from the guy from Battlestar Galactica his whole life. I can't remember that actor's name. He's actually a really good actor. The man who's chasing him.
Yeah, with his ear blown off. Yeah.
Yeah. He's he was in the remake of Battlestar Galactica back in 2003. Very good actor. He's jaded life, and it's all about him coming to this, very small community. I think the back of the DVD case even says, like, I think there's 17 people in the whole town.
Yeah, there's 17 people, or 17 houses.
Yeah.
At least.
Yeah, just very small.
17 buildings, I don't know. Yeah, very tiny.
Yeah, itty-bitty town. And him just sort of being, being changed, being, in a way, saved by this small community of just good, kind-hearted people.
My favorite part throughout the movie, the blacksmith is one of my favorite characters because he's like that. He, as an actor, he didn't say a lot, but like, man, did you get a lot from him? Like, just the looks, just like his presence. He told a story with his presence. He didn't need a lot of lines to tell a story. And it's so funny because I'm blanking on Montana kid, Sean. His name is Sean.
Sean, yes.
Sean. And everybody finds out his name is Sean, and that's all they call him.
Sean?
He's like, oh. Sean. Anyway, Sean has like his code, right? And he's not going to shoot a man who doesn't have a gun. And so, like, they really focus on Sean has his own code that he abides by and whatever. But the blacksmith has a code of his own. And he follows that code. And he literally fixes the gun. He Smith's the last part that pistol needed for it to work, and that's the pistol that he's gonna have to fight with, and he knows he could die, and he still does it because he has his own moral code that he is gonna stand by. So I really admire that.
Yeah, and I definitely agree that is probably one of the best characters in there. He's the gentle giant type. I think. Yeah, you're Bommy. Put it in there, gentle giant. And to go back really quick, Callum Rennie. That's the actor I was talking about. Excellent actor. Oh, and also real quick, what's up, Brightest Day? How's it going?
Brightest Day.
Yeah, glad to see you, Zach. But yeah, I kind of like how they put that in there too. You know, a bit of an not like a direct out. I mean, they were kind of transparent with it because they straight up tell you. But yeah, he fixes the hammer for the pistol, and it's, you know, people are what they do. You know, blacksmiths mend iron. You know, whereas the other guy is a gunslinger. You're gonna shoot people. That's your thing.
Yep.
And I do also feel like, especially when you get toward the end of the movie, there's a definite, like, it seems like a bit of an anti-gun sentiment throughout the film, but it's not like super preachy about it or anything.
And I honestly, the first time I watched that, I didn't pick up on that. But watching the second time, I was like, wait a second, what the? But it's also very much Canadian culture. Like, as big as guns are down here, that never has been up in Canada, to be honest. And that's just because of the influence of the British Empire. And even though we're no longer under the British Empire, that influence and that tradition, that way of living, everything is still there. You know, it's kind of unfortunate in many ways because of where Canada is politically, but that's kind of always been the culture, to be honest. Yeah. So, like, why would you have a gun? I don't know. That's just that idea. And then they all only have rifles because they use it for hunting, and that's it. Which is what Canadians are like. There's a lot of rifles in Canada.
Yeah.
There's not a lot of pistols. Those are actually outlawed now. But which is unfortunate. But there's a lot of rifles. And also, the cool thing was, who was it? The blacksmith. He couldn't shoot a pistol, but he could shoot that rifle.
Yeah.
Like,
because he gets like the crack shot from across the field.
Yeah.
With the rifle.
And you're like, what?
Yeah.
You can't handle a gun. It's not that type of gun.
I will say the first time kind of got a good chuckle out of me as well when, you know, that's the gunfight finally happens. It's, you know, finally having our showdown. And, you know, really it's just the Montana kid, Sean. You know, really he just has a death wish. He's tired of going through life being chased constantly by I can't remember the other guy's name, but, you know, the man with one ear. And he
knows, like, because of this is his lifestyle, like that's how people who live his lifestyle, that's what happens. You live that lifestyle, you're gonna get shot, you know, live by the sword, die by the sword kind of thing. Like, so he thought, well, I want to do it on my terms, basically.
Yeah.
He basically wanted to choose when and where he went down.
Probably a little bit of it as well was some ego. Like, he wanted that story to continue. Like, he's obviously a well-known outlaw gunslinger. If, you know, they're talking about it in whatever the you know, serial magazine they were reading was, the, you know, Canada Times. I can't remember what it was called. Yeah, but it's, you know, if they're writing about him in there, then, you know, he has a reputation he wants to maintain even past his death. But, you know, finally the blacksmith has the gun, and it's, now pull the trigger. I'm pulling the trigger. Yeah, some old gun that was falling apart just a day ago that you haven't even test shot yet.
Yeah.
You know, probably
totally gonna work.
Yeah. Really, they should have just given him the rifle from the beginning.
Right?
But no, it's got to be by the code. He's got to have a pistol.
Oh, man.
I will say there were some pretty sweet pistols they had in there. I can't remember what the Montana kid had, but the one that they fix up was a Navy 6, which is just that was like early days of revolvers. That was a good. Let's see. When Megan says, "To be honest," and she said it twice, it sounded very, very British. I guess a bit of the colonial coming out in you there. Well, whoops. Do they refer do the British refer to Canadians as colonials, or is it like Commonwealthers? Or
it used to be more a Commonwealth. It would be said now. Yeah.
I will say I don't know if I've seen any other like specifically Canadian movies before. I know I've seen movies that are filmed in Canada. But yeah, I will say I did enjoy it. It was, just solid story overall. Also, we should talk about like the interactions between him and sort of the main thing going on is him and the woman whose name I can't remember. The actress is Sienna.
Sienna, yeah. I can't remember her character's name. That's so bad.
Let's see, where is it? Jane. That was the character's name. Jane. Yes. Yeah, because that's kind of, the main story going on there is, she's a widow. He's the jaded gunslinger, and they have to work together, and they slowly fall in love, and you sort of get a nice,
It's a pretty predictable movie for the most part. Yeah. Like, it really is. But I think that's what makes it such a comfortable movie to watch. Because of that predictability.
Yeah, comfort.
Because as soon as you meet her and him, you're like, oh, they're going to get together. Yep. Like, you just know. Absolutely 100%.
Yep. And then the Mountie comes into the situation, and you can tell immediately, like, the Mountie is very much interested in Jane.
You know the funny thing about that Mountie? In every Canadian movie or show or play where there's a Mountie, because they always put a Mountie in there, there's always that one uptight, stick up his butt Mountie every time. I don't know why. Part of me is like, what were the Mounties like back? Did they have a stick up their butt like this? Because you always have one Mountie that's like always. Every single time. By the book and
oh yeah, I'm sure they did. I'm sure they did.
So funny. It's really funny.
Yeah, people never really change, and I think the biggest example I've ever heard of, like, the people have always really been the same is when they found the cities that had been covered by the eruption of Mount Vesuvius back in, like, I think that was right before Christ, like just like a few years before Christ was when Vesuvius erupted and covered the 3 cities that are there. I want to say it's not in Pompeii, the most famous one, because it had an amphitheater. I want to say it was in Stabia or one of the other ones around there. But basically, they found a bit of concrete that, you pour concrete, it's wet. Boop. I don't know if that came through.
Cat's in trouble.
Kitty's being a dick. but yes, and it's all good. but yeah, so they had found someone had written some graffiti in the wet concrete, grabbed a stick and drew in it, and they translated, and it basically said, like, Gaius was here.
That's so funny. And that's like the first thing people will write every time. I was here.
Yep.
Oh my gosh, that's so funny.
People never change. So yeah, I'm sure back then there was always at least one stick up the butt officer. Which he's also, like, everyone in the Canadian villages, they're just all really nice. I think they really are just stereotypical, like, nice Canadian.
Yes. And I mean, they're asking him to dinner, the gunslinger to dinner. Let's have dinner at the doctor's house. Yes. And, like, they're having this, like, nice dinner. But then somebody asked the question about how many of you killed, and it's like, oh, but everybody wants to know anyway. Yeah.
and he
It
spins
does
some
poke
tall
fun at
tale.
Canadians. Like, it's Canadians poking fun at Canadians.
Yeah.
In that film, which is what we do, like, all the time.
Mm-hmm.
Like, all the Canadian stereotypes, we put those in our films.
Mm-hmm.
Because we know people like to see it.
Oh, yeah. But the Canadian stereotype is like, oh yeah, they're just really nice and mostly passive people. So making fun of the stereotype, it really does feel like South Park kind of got it right on that one of like, you're not my friend, pal. You're not my pal, buddy.
That's why I call people when I'm mad at them when I'm driving. What are you doing, buddy? Hey, buddy. If I call you buddy, I'm actually pissed at you, just so you know.
That is the nicest way to insult somebody. That's... Oh man, if somebody ever recorded me getting mad at another driver, I would immediately get canceled. Like there's no coming back from that. I would be done. Hey Paul, how's it going? Glad to have you here. Let's see, this stick up the butt became a trend on Twitter because of this stream. Good.
Make it a trend, Phil.
Yes.
Stick up the butt. Do it.
Wait, are you being literal about this, Phil? I don't want to know.
Don't do that, Phil.
I don't want to know.
Yikes.
Don't put that on Twitter. I know you can, but don't. For my sake, not your own. My sake. Oh, getting called out on the snort.
I snorted so loud last night on Weeps and Waifus.
Oh, no.
Like, it was bad. It was embarrassing.
Nice. Yeah,
Anyway.
Paul, just in time for the snort.
You're welcome.
Yeah, you're balmy. I agree. I think the shortness of the film, they kept it nice and tight.
Honestly,
really
you wouldn't want it to be longer. It would have been just too much.
It would have been. Like, it's an action film. At least that's what I was thinking going into it. Really, it's more of like a, bit of a romantic comedy with some action thrown in there, mostly at the end. But yeah, I think they kept it nice and tight. Not too many, really no dead scenes in the movie, which is a plus for it.
Yeah.
Oh, sorry. Got to point out more of these. Oh, best stream since. Well, thank you, Achilles.
Thanks. I'm glad.
Yes, cursing is the least of the horrible things I say when I'm mad at people while driving. I will say, I do tend to fall back on things that aren't necessarily curse words, but it's typically not nice to call people slack-jawed inbred jackwagons. That's usually...
That sounds like a Shakespearean insult.
Yeah.
Man, I need to brush up on my Shakespearean insults because I think those are great.
Oh, I have... So you know the fridge magnets with the words on them?
Yeah.
I have the Shakespearean ones, and they are the best.
I want those.
Oh, they are the dirtiest ones ever. They are filthy. All of them are absolutely... There's no way to not come up with something either gross or filthy out of them. I'm trying to remember some of the ones I've had over the years. Let's see. Come whip that diminutive serpent. Bag Boy Bear Biter brawls... Oh, what was that one? Bag Boy Bear Biter brawls Brazen Bottom Babe.
Wait, what?
Yes. Yep. I had to go with an alliteration, so I was grabbing the bees. I was like, I can come up with an actual sentence here. I can do this. It's me at like 2 a.m. staring at the fridge magnets. I'm going to come up with something here. I'd have to actually go look at the fridge to remember some of them. They're just awful.
Shakespearean insults are great.
They are the best. Wait,
it takes more creativity.
Yes.
Still got some marbles. Oh, Phil.
Yes, Brazen Bottom Babe. And not just Bag Boy Bear Biter brawls Brazen Bottom Babe.
Wow.
Yes. Yeah, see, your mommy's got it. Brazen Bottom Babe. Think about it. Or don't. You might be better off not thinking about it. Oh, yeah, movie.
Movie. Where were we talking? I don't know.
I'm having such an off day here. Oh no.
Canadian.
Oh well, I guess we haven't talked about Jane too much. I thought she was a good character too. She was, kind of the feisty, supposed to be the feisty woman to, act across from. He's very gruff and very dark and drab and dreary, and she's supposed to be a bit more spry compared to him. So yeah, I thought she was a good character as well. I'm trying to remember.
It's funny that she's like a main character, but she's not like she wasn't a bad actress or anything, but for whatever reason she didn't. Other than being a main character, she didn't stand out to me. If that makes sense.
Yeah.
Like I don't want to sound mean because she's really pretty and she did a great job acting, whatever. But like, I don't know.
Yeah, like I don't.
There were a lot of smaller characters in like the blacksmith and like the dweeby little dude with his tree stump that stood out to you more.
Yeah.
Or to me, anyways.
Mm-hmm.
Where she didn't as much.
Yeah, I definitely agree with that. It does seem like the other characters, like she had a good personality and everything. I think they just, because they're not on the screen for as long, I think they tried to put some extra effort into adding quirks to them, whereas she doesn't really have too many like quirks.
Yeah, there's nothing like, super memorable or that would like stick with you when it came to her. Yeah. Nothing bad about her, just didn't stick. Yeah.
I mean, she was the first to pull out a rifle and help, defend Sean when the bounty hunter came in.
But I still wasn't impressed.
I remember more
I feel mean, but
yeah.
I wasn't impressed.
Yeah, even that scene, I remember more of the doctor hiding behind a picket fence, which offers zero cover. But that's his cover, is, a white picket fence.
And he's like a big dude. It's not like he's a little skinny dude.
Let's see, even the bounty man had a mini arc standing up for Montana from the other soldiers.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah? Oh, yeah, I know what you're talking about. The Mountie. I think that auto-corrected him. Yeah, what was it? Corporal Jonathan something or other, I think was his name. Yeah, he, the other Mounties are beating up on him, and he is so straight-laced and by the book that, he forces them to stop.
Those girls.
And then he even asks, like, would you like to file a complaint against the private here?
Would you like to make a formal complaint? Yeah. Like, by the book.
Yep. It's like, no, the only thing I'd like to declare is that he hits like a girl.
Then he just leaves.
Yep.
Pick up this pie.
Yeah. And then he even tries to give the corporal like a one-up there. He's like, hey, you mind taking over for me here? Because he's planning on getting out of town.
He tries to like get them together. The Mountie and Jane.
But doesn't work. Of course it can't work. Jane's not really interested in him.
The school marm is, though.
That's okay. That was it. I was trying to remember.
Scene. You really liked that scene. Tell us why you liked that scene.
I did like the school scene. So I mean, it was just interesting. Like the big town meetup is really basically just like a 6th grade history lesson, essentially talking about Socrates or something. I can't remember what it was. But I actually really liked the interaction between, I think Jack was the blacksmith's name. When, he kind of has to squeeze out of the desk and he's, finally standing up to Sean and just calls him out completely, telling him that, you're walking around with a death wish. You want to die. That's the only reason you're doing this. And it's wrong of you to involve other people who want nothing to do with this. And really it's him, he's talking about himself. He doesn't want to kill anybody. but Sean's forcing him into it because otherwise he's going to get shot. And so I just like that interaction there because that was the first time you really get like a lot of, you get, I think, the most words out of the blacksmith in the film in that scene right there.
Yeah.
And, he just sees completely through the bravado and the whole guise that Sean has put up. And I think it just cuts straight to it. But then right after that, you have all of the other people in the room just going off on their own tangent of how the conversation just goes completely off topic. And it felt like a real conversation that people have of like, there's a serious moment going on over here. And they're just like, wow, that's serious. But and they go completely off the rails.
A rock can be dangerous too.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
Okay.
They were like, well, you can have a knife. Oh, knife, yeah, that's
there's a rope.
Well, you can't stab someone with a rope, no, but you can hang them with it.
Those three are like the Three Stooges.
Yeah.
Like, they're totally the Three Stooges. Jen got spiked.
When she got spiked by the punch, yeah. And I did think for a second there that Sean was going to be a bit chivalrous about it and be like, no, you're drunk, this can't happen. But no, he was a man about it. That's
That was the most awkward moment in the morning though. You're like, oh, you just like, there's complete silence. They don't say anything. There's no music. It like makes you feel so awkward as the viewer. You're like, oh, this is super awkward.
Yeah. And then, of course, afterwards, she kind of expects him to be, you're going to be sticking around now, right? He's still out in the morning.
Yep.
Oh, yeah, and the Chinaman was taking lessons, too.
He was there to, like, learn English, so he's just repeating, like, words.
Yes.
Aww.
Oh, I think there's one popping up here from your Bommy. That's, yes, definitely was a good one. The blooper of one of them farting. Yeah. Yes. I do think the bloopers were probably the funniest part in the whole movie. You know what? Let's see if I can't find them here to where we can actually hear them too. All right. I think I got him. Let's see. All right, so everybody can get a good laugh. We will watch the bloopers here. Oh, hey, we can be here too. All right. Yeah, there we go.
Oh, his relationship with his horse was pretty good as well.
It was. He just talks to the horse.
Yeah, his horse, he's like, excuse me, I'm talking to you. Get up here. Walk beside me. We're having a conversation.
I'm doing the thing. Come on.
Yours is like, oh, fine, whatever. Here we go.
All right, so here's the bloopers for everybody.
Like, look at the horse. He just moved his butt, and he's like, I'm turning my back on you.
Come here to me, horse. Fuck you. Fuck you, horse.
Peacemaker and an equalizer and a widowmaker.
Stop that.
The peacemaker, the equalizer, the womanizer.
I lost my hat, so this is no fucking good.
What the hell?
What fucking I'd like to kill you, but I cannot see you.
And they each earned their bullet of their own accord.
It does look like they had a lot of fun making this movie.
Yeah.
Like with almost a Martian accent.
That would be a flagrant contravention of Rule 44 of the Constable's Code of Behavior, Hygiene, and Equipment Care.
Fragrant contravention?
Want the damn show down or not?
What were all those other lines?
You could strangle someone with a rope?
Yeah, or pull them to the desert.
Time to a bed.
So, from what I understand, the guy who plays Sean, Paul Gross, he's actually like kind of a big actor up in Canada.
Yeah, apparently, yes.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know.
I remembered hearing someone talk about it on some podcast somewhere. I want to say it was on Midnight's Edge. They were talking about it because they have some Canadians on there. I actually think that's basically the same scene that they had. It was just
no fart sound.
Yeah.
Like so awkward.
I do feel like it was probably better in the movie without the fart, though.
I heard that part.
Yeah.
This is my path. It's what I do. And that's his path. That's what he does. He eats, he shits. He's a horse. I am a man. I have a gun. I do different things. I kill people. I shit too, but I don't do it the same way. I don't even lift anything. I just have a bowl I sit on, sometimes just out in the field. So I shit.
You lost your carrot?
That one got me really good. When I was watching the endings, just how he so quickly rolled right into it.
Mm-hmm. Oh man. I mean, at that point as an actor, you're like, well, they're not gonna keep this scene anyway. Might as well have fun. Like,
Excuse me. Yeah, I felt like that would have been nice to just throw a little bit in there, but it would have been a bit too over the top with the comedy. This is also something they haven't really done. At least, I don't know, maybe I just haven't watched any comedies recently, but this was a big thing from like, I want to say early 2000s up until right around the time this came out, like 2010 to 2012, is the credits would be bloopers.
yeah.
It used to be a thing, but they don't do it anymore.
I wish they did. Because I used to love that.
Yeah.
Watching the bloopers was like one of my favorite things after a movie.
Oh, yeah. And TV show bloopers, too. Those are always great. I mean, typically not in the credits. You got to like buy the DVD and then go and watch them. But some TV show bloopers are great. And even like serious shows, like I got behind me here, Hannibal. The bloopers for Hannibal are amazing. They work. And it's supposed to be this dark drama and everything, but no, they just work. Oh, yep, the Jackie Chan movies.
Yeah. Oh my gosh, I need to watch those movies again.
Yes.
Love them.
Yes. That's right. Toy Story 1 and 2 did have bloopers as well. I think a lot of the Pixar movies.
Yeah, I think they did. That was just the thing they did.
Yeah. So I want to say
I
Incredibles
honestly
had bloopers. And, man, I haven't watched Incredibles in a long time. That was a good one, though. Oh, but yeah, we have a few more. Him with his carrot.
You lost your rabbit?
Okay, that was the last one there. Oh, that's true. There's something about Mary had some great bloopers there with the cast singing "Build Me Up, Buttercup." Yes. Lion King bloopers, huh? Not sure.
What do you know?
Yeah. Yes, the best actors have the funniest outtakes. Oh, I think my favorite blooper of all time, though, has got to be from Parks and Rec, and I'd have to just show it. You can't just. It would never work me describing it. It just would not be as funny.
So we're about to watch bloopers.
Just the one. Just the
bloopers
one.
Time.
Just this. It's a 30-second blooper. All right, I got it here. Let me get it pulled up. All right, there we go.
Everyone loves a good comeback story, right? Seabiscuit, the Mighty Ducks,
Robert Downey Jr. Who
Rocky.
else? Yes.
Kim Kardashian.
Kim. Well,
In the video, she gets cum on her back, I think.
Party.
I love everybody's laughing. The dog is like,
Yep. Oh yes, Champion. Champion's a character all on his own. He's great. Yes, that one gets me every time. I've probably seen that 100 times. It gets me every time. Yes, thank you, Sean. Thank you, Sean. Forever, I will always think of Kim Kardashian's story as a comeback story.
No. Oh.
Oh man. Oh
man.
But yeah, did you have any like overall thoughts about the movie?
No.
I think we've kind of.
I think it's always gonna be like a favorite of mine, even though there's nothing like super incredibly amazing about it exactly, but like it's not bad. I don't think a lot of people would put it on their top 10, but I just would because it's nostalgic to me, and it was so cool to have a movie that was Canadian that was generally pretty good, you know? So
Yeah. Nostalgia does make up a lot for some of those movies, especially like kind of the middle of the road movies. Like nostalgia can really hit strong on those. Like, oh, I remember, being in a situation, especially like you were talking about, one of the first times you had the whole family together for a movie.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, one of my favorites too. I mean, it's generally regarded as a really good movie, but I do have some nostalgia for Blade Runner. Like that's one that I'll watch that movie anytime. I love it. But Phil, I don't do the 1 through 10. Okay, that's not a thing here.
We don't do that, Phil.
You can. I don't. No.
I don't know. Like at that point, because of nostalgia is involved, like you have like what are you rating it on, right? Are you rating on the acting, on the editing, on the like there's so many things. I'm just rating it on pure nostalgia and memory and how it makes me happy every time I watch it. And for that reason, it is like a 9 or 10 for me.
Whoa. Dang.
I know, sorry, but not
well,
sorry.
I mean, hey, it's subjective.
It's just the way it is. But like in comparison to other movies, it's not. It's like maybe a 6. Let's be honest.
I'm going to give it, and this is going to seem harsh at first, but I have my reasons. I am going to give it out of 5, not 10. I do 5 here. Phil, do 5. Out of 5, I'm going to give it a 2 out of 5. And while that does seem harsh, I would have it as a 3, as just sort of an average, middle of the road kind of movie. But because I feel like a lot of the comedy was really forced into it and maybe just didn't hit right for me. I am a bit of a snob when it comes to comedy. I like it to be just messed up. I like the worst that we can get out of humanity when it comes to comedy. One of my favorite comedies is probably Very Bad Things, which is a horrible movie. It is awful. The movie is just filled with very bad things. But it makes me laugh every time. It is infinitely quotable. My friends and I talk about it all the time. We just bring it up in random conversations,
My comedy is like very childish or morbid.
Well,
that's it.
Very Bad Things is morbid for sure.
But like how morbid?
Oh, it goes all out.
Maybe it's too morbid for me.
It goes all out. Okay, so the basic premise for Very Bad Things is it came out in the, I want to say early 90s, because Cameron Diaz is in it, but this is before she like blew up as Cameron Diaz. And she had a long stretch in the 90s and early 2000s. That's a good way to put it. Small Time Republic. Yeah, something very bad happens to a hooker and Very Bad Things. That pretty much it's one dude's getting married, so they go and have a bachelor party for him. They go out to Las Vegas. They get a stripper to come to the hotel room where they're doing drugs and drinking. And one of the guys decides that he's going to see if the stripper will have sex with him for money. She's really a hooker, but she was just coming to strip for him and everything. While they're doing the business in the bathroom during the party, I don't want to go into full detail on it, but we'll just say she dies during the process.
Dang.
Yeah. And
Ew.
it is an absolutely horrible scene that makes me laugh every time. It is awful. We'll just say he's coming while she's going.
Yikes. That's awful.
It
Yeah,
is,
no, I wouldn't. I don't. Yeah. Hmm.
it is awful. And that's just the start of it. The movie just gets worse from there. It's just downhill from that point in time.
Yikes.
Yep. But it actually has
Downhill from there.
too. Like Jon Favreau is in it, a pretty young Jon Favreau. Christian Slater is in, and his character is phenomenal. He's like a he's like a motivational speaker, real estate agent guy, and just he's always on this like power trip. It's it's hard to describe his character, but it's good stuff. It's a horrible movie that I love.
Yikes.
This one was a bit more PG-13, really more along the lines of like PG, which can be good at times. So sometimes that can be good.
It's definitely a family movie, for sure.
Yeah. Very Bad Things is not a family movie at all. Hey, we have a heron. Okay, yes, Small Time Republic. Christian Slater tends to play Christian Slater. Except in Name of the Rose. He was not playing Christian Slater in Name of the Rose, which is an excellent movie. Well, Heron, I think you showed up, unfortunately, just as we were starting to wrap up.
So sad.
Yeah, but you can go back and watch
We're glad you showed up, Heron.
Yeah, good to see you. Yeah, maybe an Addams Family movie. Yeah, they might go see Very Bad Things. And probably be too light for them. Oh, yes, you made the end.
Yeah, you did.
Well, unless you have anything else to add, I think it's time to wrap it up.
That's it.
All right.
I'm glad we watched those bloopers. That was fun.
Yes, the bloopers they were good. And I will say, while 2 out of 5 does seem harsh for my out of 5 review, it was still an enjoyable movie, and I had a good time watching it. I just feel like the comedy really in like the first 15 minutes was kind of forced. After that, it was a bit more measured and worked out well. Maybe I'll put it at a 3 out of 5. It was a smaller budget movie, not like minuscule budget, but it was smaller budget. They probably didn't have, as much time to hire in 4 more writers to workshop it and get it as tight as possible. So I will grant them that and give it a 3 out of 5. Average, middle of the road. I enjoyed watching it. If you're in the mood for a nice light comedy, minor romance, bit of a romantic comedy with a little bit of action thrown in there in a Western style, give it a watch.
Give it a watch.
Yeah.
Easy going movie.
Yeah. Yeah, definitely. If you're wanting just to sit down, relax, have a good time, feel good about yourself after watching it, which you will not do. But you will not feel that way after Very Bad Things, for sure. No way. Like the streamer a lot. Curiosity killed the cat on Steven's side. Yeah, the kitties do that. Did you just flip everybody off?
No. What? What did I do?
Uh-oh. Hang on. I'm going back on this. I got the feed right over here.
Oh, they're scratching my face.
Maybe. Yeah, I think you just flipped everyone off. It happened.
I'm sorry, guys. I did not mean to do that.
So un-Canadian.
I did that to Ivan one time during his stream.
It's like, ugh. What?
That's what I do. I'm weird, and I don't just use my pointer finger. I use I play piano, and I use all my fingers like interchangeably. I don't know.
Yeah, I don't. Like, even when I type, I only use these fingers when I type.
Weird.
I can't get the pinkies to work right. I don't even use the space bar for my thumb. I will move my index finger down to hit the space bar.
Wow.
I also have like these weird, like long, like I can stretch my fingers out. Like, yeah, I know it's weird. I'm double jointed, so it's you don't think
stop
it.
Actually, I can do that with my elbows. It's disgusting. I
Oh,
understand.
okay. Yeah. I can't do the elbow touch or anything. I used to be able to get my leg behind my head, but
I used to be able to get behind my head and touch my nose with my toe.
oh
do
wow,
that.
that's
Yeah.
yeah.
I had an idea when I was a kid that I was going to be in Cirque du Soleil, you know. So I was going to be a contortionist, Cirque du Soleil. Yeah.
That's. I mean, I bet they make decent money doing that stuff, but oof, you put your body through some crap doing that.
It's true.
That's called German typing. Okay, well,
Okay.
yes. I guess for the fatherland then, for how I type. Yeah, I don't know. That's just how I've always done it. I just sometimes I'll throw a pinky in there, but for the most part, it's just that.
Weird.
Yeah. So what do you have going on?
Let me think. Yikes. Sorry. Yoy. I'm on Nightwing's channel tomorrow. I think around 6. I don't know. I don't remember. I wrote it down somewhere, so I won't forget. But I forgot right now. And then I wanted to do a live stream make on Sunday or Monday because I want to finish the storyline or get through more of the storyline of Pokemon. And then, yes, Pokemon.
There's your answer here.
Yes. And I do need to put out some more videos. But we'll see what happens with that because I'm trying to give myself a bit of a mental break. And honestly, live streaming is a lot easier because you just jump on and just go than like making and editing a video.
Yeah, it's I don't know, it's a bit of like a pros and cons with it. Wow, it took me way too long to think of pros and cons there. Yeah, because it's nice to be able to like sit down and formulate your thoughts and make sure everything gets right before putting the video out. But it is just so much more convenient to just hit go and be live and just, say screw it. What happens. If I blunder a little bit, yeah.
Exactly. Plus, it helps my watch hours way more to live stream than just video. So
yeah, it does, which is always weird. But it's how it works. Yeah, and you just need to get those watch hours for.
I do.
Yeah, and your channel's wholesome and everything, so you shouldn't have any problems getting monetized.
I know, right?
It's so like they talk about comics. Speaking of comics, just a quick aside before I wrap up on my end. I did actually pick up. I'm waiting for it to come in the mail, but I did pick up a graphic novel, so I'm going to give some comic books a try. I've read some.
What did you pick up?
I picked up. Which one is it? It's when Frank Miller rebooted Daredevil. I'm trying to remember what the name of it is.
I haven't read a lot of Daredevil at all.
Daredevil's like one of the few comic book characters that I really like. How his character is structured, and I think he has a nice duality to him of he's a lawyer, but he's also a vigilante, so he believes in the law, but he also has sort of this objectivist view of at a certain point in time the law is failing, and so other people have to step in. He has that ability. I do think it's funny that he's a blind guy whose superpower is the ability to see. That's a bit funny there, but still I thought I'd give it a try. Plus I've had this thing for years. I actually have like this Daredevil picture here, which is like a numbered collector's item thing. Here, I get it a little bit closer so people can see it. Yeah, it's actually like a numbered limited edition laser cell is what they call it. So I've had this thing since 2003, but I've never really read any Daredevil comics. It's like, what the heck, I'll give them a try. But yeah, so what do I have going on? Tonight, I will be on Ord's board, his main channel, for the Friday night after party, playing some Mario Kart. Phil might fall asleep again, and we can mercilessly shame him and mock him, because that's what we do. Always glad to have you there, Phil. Sunday, I will be on Ord's other channel, Ord's World, for the Sunday morning podcast, which is at noon. Not really the morning, but he's a stoner. Noon is the morning for him. And then Tuesday, Supreme Heretics channel for United Resistance. I remembered it again. Wow. Excuse me. Coffee's coming back on me. Yeah, that's what I got going on. I also need to start doing like videos again. I haven't, but I should. I've been thinking about starting to do some gaming live streams again for like Sunday, but we'll see where that goes. No promises so far. But other than that, you can find us back here next Friday for chatting about stuff.
Stuff and things.
Yeah, finally not being a boomer. We'll see. We haven't
Good luck
actually
with
ended
that.
yet. We'll see. But yeah, everybody have a wonderful weekend. Enjoy yourselves. We will see you later sometime in the future. Some of you, I will see you later this evening over at Ords. And here's where I'm being a boomer because I'm trying to find the outro. There it is. All right. Bye everybody.
Guys.
No. He's looking at you, kid.
Goodbye, Boo.
Kitty.
Kitty has to go.
I'll see you. Not if I see you first.
Hello.
Grandpa? Maybe you could come over and read it again to me tomorrow.
As you wish.